From destroying one of the most hated streamers,
she will completely disregard the truth for her own gain,
to exposing an alleged multi-million-dollar scam.
It's all true. Allegedly. This would make Mr. Beast actually somehow more fucking greedy than Logan Paul.
Here are 6 of the most evil YouTubers who got destroyed by some ordinary gamers, aka Mutahar. And first up is one of the most hated streamers in Twitch history, Keffals. Keffals looked unstoppable in 2022 after getting swatted by police and raising $100,000 on GoFundMe, but her story started falling apart fast. She claimed cops harassed her for being trans and stole her belongings.
Part of her story was that police had confiscated their devices, resulting in significant financial damages.
They seized both my personal and work phone, as well as the work computer that I broadcast on Twitch from.
The only problem was, none of it was true.
Now, if we're to believe that she meant 3 days after the swatting, that would place it on August 8th, a day before the GoFundMe started. There's also footage of Clara picking up her belongings from the police station, where you can see this property bag. It heavily resembles the property bag seen in her initial video. A close-up of one of the labels shows us a date of August 8th, 2022. This again implies that she got her stuff back before the video and GoFundMe ever even went live.
Things got even worse when people noticed she kept changing her story. First, she said she needed the money for legal fees, then for moving, then for travel.
So far, Clara has admitted to spending the money on new devices, as well as equipment for IRL streaming. She traveled across Europe, planning to visit Spain from Ireland, but ended up at a play in London instead. She then flies to TwitchCon in the United States before getting an apartment in Canada and then paying an entire year's worth of rent.
In the end, that $100,000 vanished, and so did any proof she ever planned to sue the police like she promised. But if lying about police brutality and allegedly stealing $100,000 wasn't enough to get destroyed by Mutahar, wait until you hear about the YouTuber who faked catching predators. Max, back when he was YouTube's predator hunter, something always felt off about Mama Max. In October 2023, he reached out to Muta about his latest case, claiming he needed help exposing an evil vampire cult.
Project of mine. I'm on the verge of releasing a video for Halloween that is likely to generate significant drama.
But instead of real evidence, Max filled his videos with secret messages, hidden frames, and creepy music. When Muta dug deeper, he found Max had been lying about everything. For example, when Muta confronted him about his biggest case, arresting a predator named Pablo Sonny, Max's story completely fell apart. First, he claimed he got Pablo arrested, but when pressed harder, he admitted he had no idea if anyone was ever actually arrested.
Question?
I've been emailed stuff like, hey, you got this guy arrested, congratulations.
You went on and you said, this guy was arrested, it was because of me, it was because of my video. And you told me that 2 years ago.
It's kind of egotistical of me to say that it was my video that did it. I don't know that for sure.
But then you said...
In just 1 week, YouTube's supposed hero exposed himself as nothing but a fraud. Making wild accusations without proof is dangerous. And that's exactly what In Praise of Shadows did in his 3-hour video attacking multiple creators, including Mutahar. In Praise of Shadows had built a respectable reputation, making horror content for his 300,000 subscribers. But in May 2024, he'd end up creating something far scarier, a 3-hour hit piece that would ultimately destroy his own credibility. The video started as a commentary on political horror films, but quickly devolved into attacking other creators with reckless accusations.
And has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video.
Oh boy, that thumbnail's never gonna leave me!
He accused Mutahar of being transphobic, stating, "Mutahar, your art was transphobic. I have nothing else to say to that," with Mutahar replying, "Going to back that claim up? What about painting me as a Tate fan when I wasn't?" The laziness of his research became obvious when he tried painting Mutahar as a Tate supporter, despite Muta's channel history telling a very different story. But if lying to your audience for views wasn't evil enough, wait until you hear about TechLead. TechLead loved calling himself a millionaire tech genius, but Muta exposed him as nothing but a scammer. First, he launched Million Token, claiming he put in $1 million of his own money.
Because today, we are launching a brand new digital currency. The currency's name? Million Token. And so million token is literally $1 million opportunity. I'm putting $1 million of my own money into this to get it started, but this coin can.
But when Muta investigated, Tech Lead had only invested $50,000.
Actual USDC into the liquidity pool. Basically, Tech Lead is taking money out of this liquidity pool and putting it back in, and basically adding that $50,000 and blowing it up to $1 million. So by technicality, he's actually matched $1 million in liquidity, right? However, he only started with 50,000. So again, I want to remember, when you're saying to the entire world that you're using your own $1 million, but in reality,
He then pulled millions out at the peak, leaving his supporters with worthless tokens. But that wasn't even the worst part. When other creators tried exposing him, Tech Lead openly admitted to abusing YouTube's copyright strikes just to get their personal information.
Docs, you better have an identity. And so then he takes to Twitter complaining he's going to have to dox himself to the Tech Lead. So you're saying I have to share my personal information to Tech Lead or let my video be taken down? He's afraid he has to be doxxed if he wants to counter the dispute. YouTube jumps in and says, well, you can also hire an attorney if you want to represent yourself. Well, yeah, this is business, right? People have a complaint against you. You can't just be a nobody and hide behind anonymity, right? One of the main reasons I will actually copyright strike a video though is I want to know who's behind the video.
But if allegedly scamming fans and bragging about copyright abuse wasn't enough to get destroyed by Muta, wait until you hear about the charity YouTuber who allegedly stole from Dementia Research. The completionist, aka Gerard, seemed like one of YouTube's good guys, running a charity for dementia research in honor of his mom.
Basically created by Michael and Frazier, the guys behind the camera and the computers. They're the guys who really put their blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. They're silently waving to you guys. Essentially, they're the guys responsible for it. They came with the idea for it, and I gave them the okay. My father, my brother, and I started a foundation called the Open Hand Foundation that raises money for dementia research and treatment for organizations all over the world.
Gerard charity events raised over $700,000. However, there was just one huge problem. Muta discovered not a single dollar went to actual research.
we looked through every single aspect of their public filings and found that they didn't contribute anything.
But when called out, Gerard uploaded a 19-minute response video where he initially apologized for his actions.
I'm disappointed that I was not more straightforward regarding the Foundation's timeline for making donations, and that I made statements potentially implying donations were made when they had not yet been. It took too long for clear action to occur, and I apologize for all of this. But such inaction was not done for any selfish or malicious reasons.
But also called out Muta for his reporting and threatened to sue him. Instead of backing down, Muta again exposed inconsistencies and misleading statements in Gerard's response. Even after being exposed, he kept running charity streams without telling donors the truth. But if allegedly lying to donors wasn't evil enough, wait until you hear about how his latest investigation could mean the end for YouTube's biggest creator. Mr. Beast's reputation was already in free fall after getting exposed for running unsafe work conditions and allegedly hiring a registered offender.
Sat down with Jimmy and Sue and explained to them everything. You are telling me. And the people working for him decided to hear this person out. Jimmy, Mr. Beast, is somebody that produces content that is aimed towards children. There is, in my opinion, no good response that you can give that could satiate anybody. This is not just disgusting and immoral. This is just shocking.
But Muta's latest investigation made things way worse when he allegedly exposed how Jimmy was secretly taking money from his fans. Mr. Beast allegedly turned $100,000 into over $23 million by pump and dumping tokens on his own followers.
It ends up becoming such a massive boon. When tabulating up every single wallet address and the liquidity that ends up being extracted, it ended up coming around to $11.4 million. So it ended up being around $23 million of cash.
While promoting projects like Superverse to his audience, he was quietly selling millions worth of tokens through hidden side accounts.
The account that was receiving it was apparently this Bobby Digital wallet, OX2CO7. So you can just see money outpouring into these various accounts right here. So what's interesting is once they were siphoned to these smaller accounts, allegedly, and if you're looking at it, you're looking at 5.82 million, 3.3 million, 249,000, 60,000. At that point, these amounts were then transferred out and actually exchanged.
So you're telling me the guy who partnered with 2 crypto scammers also has a shady past with crypto? Why am I not surprised? Mr. Beast collaborating with Logan Paul to release Lunchly should have been enough of a red flag.